The show has been suspended indefinitely. I've devoted 22 and a half years to this program, and I want to say thank you to all the viewers. It's because of you watching the show, supporting me and my team, that the show had the chance to run for so many years. I've tried to do the show well just so everyone could laugh sometimes and think a little sometimes. That trust and companionship are the most precious things I have.
Being taken off the air is just a professional setback to me.
I've always believed that part of a talk show host's job is to express opinions. Sometimes that means taking risks, but taking risks doesn't mean ignoring the consequences they may bring. I also understand that any words can be misunderstood or even cause discomfort. I don't want my voice to cause harm. Although the show is currently paused, this isn't the end. I respect all decisions that have been made, and I hope that one day in the future, the show can return to the screen. I look forward to standing on stage again, facing the eyes of the audience, doing what I love. Thank you for listening, especially in this moment.
So Jimmy Kimmel got fired, and you know what? I'm not even mad at the Trump administration because I expect them to try to shut down any voices that disagree with him. But ABC and Disney did nothing to defend a late-night comic exercising his First Amendment rights and not saying anything that wasn't true. These cowards decided to just, instead of stand up against an authoritarian regime, they decided to cave. They decided to cave because the execs want to make sure that their stock stays high and their rich buddies get richer. Meanwhile, our rights in this country are being trampled on. Trampled. Now, these Republicans are always claiming that they're for free speech, right? Well, Jimmy Kimmel was exercising his right to free speech, and they sent the FCC chair after ABC threatening to take away their license. Now, again, I expect this terrible action from like a horrific organization like the Trump administration. But ABC, what are you doing? Disney, what are you doing? Like, you guys are the ones that are supposed to stand up for people. But it just shows you, legacy media is dead. It's dead. Cable news is dead. All of this stuff is dead. Yes, it's on air, but it is dying, and people have had it. And that's why groups like ours, the Find Out podcast, are building a left-leaning media operation to give people the truth, and so that it would stand up and fight back against this Trump administration. This is a dark day, folks. If businesses and corporations cannot stand up for the First Amendment, then we should not support any of the things that they sell, right?
Well, here we go. Donald Trump is now saying that it is illegal for any TV shows to criticize him. He was just on Air Force One, returning from his trip to the UK, when he said the following. As journalist Caitlin Collins just reported, Trump just told reporters, quote, "When you have a network and you have evening shows and all they do is hit Trump, that's all they do. If you go back, I guess they haven't had a conservative one in years or something. When you go back and take a look, all they do is hit Trump. They are licensed. They are not allowed to do that." Trump is making it abundantly clear that his goal right now is to silence all the media that is critical of him, as if the United States is Russia or North Korea. This is a blatant violation of free speech rights and the First Amendment, and is entirely un-American. And I want to assure you of this: the corporate media may continue to fold to Donald Trump, but we will not here at the Midas Touch Network. In fact, we just wrote a letter to Jimmy Kimmel about this entire situation. We hope you have a chance to read it. It's up on our Substack at MidasPlus.com. Go there, check it out. We will not be threatened. We will not back down.
Donald Trump just threatened to shut down all media in America that basically isn't Fox News or MAGA. CNN says Trump says because he won the election and TV networks give him wholly bad publicity, he would think maybe their licenses should be taken away. He then praised the guy who got Jimmy Kimmel canceled last night. Donald Trump just gave that's the way the mafia does it, actually. They don't give the order directly. They say, oh, it would be unfortunate if something happened to you, wouldn't it? Donald Trump just told the FCC to take away the broadcast licenses of all of the American media that isn't MAGA, that isn't Fox News, unless they give him better publicity. Folks, what country is this anymore? This isn't America. This isn't the way Americans of Democrat, liberal, Republican, conservative act. This is what you see in bad places in Europe, bad places in history. This is not what you see in America. This is wholly un-American. This is terrifying.
Father David here. Donald Trump, using the world's biggest bully pulpit, is the single biggest purveyor and instigator of political violence, right-wing political hate speech and efforts to undermine the free institutions of our country. Whether he's attacking a reporter from Australia who had the temerity to ask him about his illicit business deals by threatening our relationship with Australia, to his so-called condemning of left-wing political violence, knowing full well that the right wing, at his beck and call, is largely responsible for most of the political violence in this country, especially since Trump entered the political stage in 2015. He is the one who summoned the mob. He is the one who formed an insurrection. He is the one who goes after his political opponents using every lever of government. He even has the sheer audacity to attack the only black woman on the Federal Reserve over supposed charges of misstating what her primary residence was on a loan application. And not only do those appear to be bald-faced lies, but this is a man who was found liable for $500 million in fraud for repeatedly and for decades grossly misstating his net worth so that he could obtain better interest rates. And while the award of money was thrown out as too excessive, the fraud decision stands. It's hard for normal people to wrap their head around a guy like this because he is a preeminent gaslighter. But if every time he opens his mouth, you realize that whatever he is saying is exactly what he himself is doing, then you will understand and act accordingly. God bless us all.
So Disney and ABC cancels Jimmy Kimmel's program because Donald Trump is butthurt. That is problematic in its own right. But there's another organization amongst these groups of broadcasters that were pushing back against Jimmy Kimmel. It's a company called Sinclair. Now, from the early days of working in radio, everybody knew, don't work for Sinclair, it's a fucked up company. But these are all a bunch of Trump humpers that own Sinclair, and all the radio stations used to run Rush Limbaugh and all that stuff. Well, the people from Sinclair aren't happy with just a suspension or a firing of Jimmy Kimmel. They are insisting that Jimmy Kimmel apologize to the Kirk family and donate to the Kirk family. Now, I would have to believe Jimmy Kimmel would say, fuck yourself. I hope that's what he would do. But I'm just going to say this, Jimmy. If you cave to these motherfuckers, we're going to cancel you too. We need people to push back. We need people to be strong. And when you're strong against Donald Trump, you usually win. Case in point. Donald Trump says, I'm going into Chicago. J.B. Pritzker, the governor, says, fuck you are. Have they gone into Chicago yet? No. Donald Trump's a pussy-ass bitch. He ain't going to do anything when you stand up to him. So Sinclair asking for Jimmy Kimmel to apologize and donate to the Kirk family, fuck you. Fuck you.
It's appearing more and more likely that the United States government will shut down at the end of September, at least temporarily. See, Democrats are trying to make certain that subsidies for health care are extended. They're set to expire at the end of September. And well, Republicans say we're not interested in doing that. We want a clean continuing resolution through just before Thanksgiving. And Democrats are saying the only way we're voting for any sort of funding bill, stopgap measure or otherwise, is if you include an extension for these healthcare subsidies, because we don't trust you to put them back in there. And now Republicans are saying we are not doing this. We're going to force the Democrats to go on record and decide whether or not they want to be blamed for shutting down the government. Meanwhile, Democrats are saying it's going to be the Republicans' fault if the government shuts down because they are refusing to negotiate with us. They require at least 7 of us to get this passed. And so far, their unwillingness to negotiate with Democrats is likely going to lead to a government shutdown at the end of September. Now, a lot of federal employees are saying, bring it on, we need a vacation.
Gotta look at a Truth Social with ya. Hang on. All right, so he posted this yesterday. He said, I am pleased to inform our many USA patriots that I'm designating Antifa, a sick, dangerous, radical left disaster, as a major terrorist organization. I will also be strongly recommending that those funding Antifa be thoroughly investigated in accordance with the highest legal standards and practices. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Who's gonna tell him? Like, who's going to tell him that Antifa, it's not an organization. It's an ideology. And Antifa stands for anti-fascism. So, Donald, are you saying that you're pro-fascism? I mean, your actions clearly seem to say that. But are you coming right out and saying that you're pro-fascism because you've designated this ideology while calling it an organization, which is wrong, a domestic terrorist group? This is the President of the United States. Why This is why, once again, having a president with government experience and education should be a requirement.
Donald Trump wants to control what you see on TV through a state media propaganda outlet, and it's coming to fruition. You may have seen today that Jimmy Kimmel has been pulled off the air after making comments about Charlie Kirk. This was the plan all along for Trump to silence who he sees as political enemies, and I want to connect the dots for you in this scary situation. To understand how this is coming to fruition, we have to start with the major news networks. Paramount fired Stephen Colbert to appease Donald Trump and to allow a merger with Skydance to take place. Now, Skydance was owned by David Ellison, and now he serves as the head of CBS. Now, David Ellison is the son of Larry Ellison, who is a Trump loyalist and one of the richest men in the world. He briefly surpassed Musk in wealth this past week. Larry Ellison is also the founder of Oracle, and Donald Trump plans to give Oracle TikTok on a silver platter. And now, Paramount, which owns CBS, also is looking to buy Warner Brothers Discovery, which owns CNN. Now, Rupert Murdoch's son, Lachlan, just bought out his siblings for $3.3 billion to ensure that he continues to have creative direction and ownership over Fox News Corporation. And it doesn't stop there. Dominoes started falling today for Kimmel when the president of Nexstar announced that they would be pulling Kimmel off of all their stations broadcasting. This shouldn't come as a surprise because Nexstar wants to merge with Tegna, creating one of the largest media outlets in the United States. Nexstar's president and CEO is friends with Donald Trump, and Donald Trump approves of this merger. If this Nexstar-Tegna merger is approved for $6.2 billion, it will destroy 4 decades of precedent related to bipartisan support and no one media company having access to that many American households. If this merger goes through, this new company will own 265 TV stations across 44 states in the District of Columbia. They will move from owning 39% of American households to 80%. In some cities like St. Louis, this new company will own all 3 of the local TV station affiliates. Now, ABC is owned by Disney, and Disney has traditionally been very liberal. However, they've proven time and time again recently they're willing to roll over for Donald Trump.
Hi, I'm Linda. Right now, many people in this country are shocked by a death that occurred on September 10th. Some deaths are a complete shock. Some are unexpected, and some, like my mom's death at 89, are expected. When my mom died, I was heartbroken. I grieved, but I wasn't surprised. When my son died during heart surgery, I was heartbroken. I grieved. And while his death was unexpected, I knew just like with every other surgery, no matter how minor, that death was a risk. I did not send my child to school and have him come home in a body bag. Those families are heartbroken, they grieve, and they are in complete shock. Because you should be able to go to school or church or the grocery store or a parade or a concert and be safe. Those deaths were completely unexpected. On September 10th, people were shot and killed in Alabama, California, Colorado, Florida, Georgia, Indiana, Iowa, Kentucky, Maryland, Michigan, Nevada, North Carolina, Ohio, South Carolina, Texas, Virginia, Wisconsin, and Utah. Each death was a life taken too soon. Each death left behind a family and friends who are heartbroken, grieving, maybe even angry. Each death was unexpected, but not all of them were a complete surprise. And only one has led to McCarthy-era firings, outings, and blacklisting for making any negative comment, including repeating the victim's own words, racist words like black women, quote, do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously, unquote. Misogynistic words like, quote, reject feminism, submit to your husband, you're not in charge, unquote. Religious bigotry like, quote, Islam is not compatible with Western civilization, unquote. And regarding gun violence, quote, I think it's worth it to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year so we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights. That is a prudent deal. It is rational, unquote. Tell me how repeating the victim's own words is a negative statement. Tell me how repeating his own words is an inflammatory comment. Tell me how repeating his own words is interpreted as celebrating his death. While his death was unexpected, by his own words, his death was worth it. While it was unexpected, his own words made death a risk. Can the families of the other people killed by guns on September 10th say the same thing?
If you're a blue dot in a red state, I have a personal thought that I want to share with you this morning that I think you might relate to. I am fully aware that most of the people that know me in real life who are still Trump supporters see what I do online. Hi lurkers. They see what I do online and they see it as nothing more than a histrionic meltdown. They're ashamed at what I do because they think themselves they have failed at raising a respectable conservative woman. But the real reason, and this is the same for you, if you're in the same situation as me, the real reason that these people look upon you and see you as nothing more than a joke, doing the most, overreacting, being a loud crying liberal on the internet. The reason they see you as overreacting is because they have never taken any of this seriously. The Republican Party in general and everyone that participates in it thinks that this is one big fat game. They only have to participate in when the season rolls around, and only worth getting upset over if it's something that reaches their door and is perpetuated by the Democrats. When someone from your hometown sees you on TikTok complaining about the Trump administration, talking about how they're censoring late night hosts with the heavy hand of the FCC because they're saying things that Trump doesn't like, they think that you're overreacting because they don't take any of this seriously. It's not just that they don't believe in human rights and taking care of the least of us, the most vulnerable of us. It goes way beyond their lack of empathy. It's the fact that they think this is a game. No matter how much they try to blame you for the political division and burned bridges within your friend and family circles, they are the ones that are willing to sacrifice a relationship with you because of their allegiance to Donald Trump. Not because they are not willing to have a relationship with you because you don't like Donald Trump. Oh, they're still willing to have a relationship with you. They just don't respect you. And they don't take you seriously. They think you're a joke. You are the laughing stock at the Thanksgiving dinner table. The truth is, anything that they ever admired about you, any positive attribute that they raised you with, that they were proud of, all that's overshadowed because you don't like their daddy God. All of that's overshadowed because they don't think you are a serious person because you care about human rights and constitutional rights. Because they think you are ridiculous for caring that there are people that are suffering under the Trump administration. But you have to remember that these people are not serious people. They do not take American politics seriously. They don't take the Constitution seriously. They don't take human rights or civil rights seriously. They don't take the safety of our children seriously. They don't take pedophilia seriously. They don't take anything seriously. So you don't have to worry about whether or not they think you're a histrionic mess. You don't have to worry about whether or not they think you're doing too much. You don't have to worry about whether they're ashamed of you or not. They are Trump supporters. They are protectors and enablers of pedophiles. You shouldn't have to worry about what they think about you ever again.
So we know it's all bullshit now, right? We know that every bit of it is bullshit. Every Trump voter who said they voted for Trump for the economy and for inflation, we know that's bullshit. We know all of the right's concerns about cancel culture and all the wailing that they did about cancel culture over the last decade. We know that's all bullshit now, right? All of their concerns about censorship and the Twitter files and all of their be censored by social media companies, not being permitted to post their bullshit COVID conspiracy theories. We know that their concerns about censorship are all bullshit now, right? We know that every bit of that was complete and total bullshit. Every reason they said they voted for Trump in 2024, what they were willing to tell pollsters, was complete bullshit. All lies. It was all lies. Except for maybe the immigration part. Because goddamn, they're a bunch of bigots. That much they'll fess up to. We know that all of the concerns that have been voiced for the last 30 years by the Second Amendment crowd, we need our guns in order to protect us from a tyrannical government. We know that's all bullshit. We know every bit of that is bullshit. Because where the fuck are those guys now? They're supporting everything that's happening. The amosexual gravy seals, green buffets, Al-Qaeda, Second Amendment, we the people tattooed on their forearms, shall not be infringed tattooed on one of their butt cheeks. They fucking lied about everything. Turns out it was just the racism for them. It was just the racism for the Second Amendment crowd. So that was all bullshit. Elon Musk buying Twitter because he's a free speech absolutist. The party of free speech. They love nothing more than the First Amendment, except for maybe the Second Amendment. Free speech is everything to them. We know that's bullshit. That's complete bullshit too. We have learned in the last few months that literally every single thing that every single Trump supporter, every single Second Amendment supporter, every single thing that they have said publicly is complete bullshit. They hate free speech. They love censorship. They're not going to use their guns at all against an actual tyrannical government. It was all bullshit. Every single bit of it was complete bullshit and lies. Prices are through the fucking roof. Groceries are through the roof. They don't care. They don't care. It was never about that. Tariffs are going to make all of that worse. Farmers who voted for Trump for a third time, he fucked them with tariffs in his first term. They voted for him again in 2020. They voted for him again in 2024. Farmer suicides are up. Farm bankruptcies are going to be at record levels this year. Everything they said about why they voted for him was complete bullshit. And I have zero empathy for farmers who voted for Donald Trump who are losing their farms. Fuck those guys. We learned that every single thing that all of these people said why they voted for Trump. It was complete fucking bullshit. It was white supremacy, it was racism, it was authoritarianism, it was patriarchy and misogyny. They wanted the federal government to do the things that Donald Trump is doing to the marginalized communities and to the left, the same groups that Trump voters also hate. That's all it was about. They couldn't give two shits about the Constitution. They don't give two shits about the First Amendment. The only part of the Constitution they care about is the Second Amendment. And they won't even use that in the face of an actual tyrannical government. They're just a bunch of fucking dumb hick racists who hate women and black and brown people and the LGBTQ community. They want to put a target on every single one of our fucking backs. We saw that over the last 6 days, the reactions and the responses to the assassination of Charlie Kirk. They're trying to get every single person on the left fired from their jobs, regardless of whether they said something offensive or not. And the hundreds of videos that I saw from Trump supporters, just give us the green light, Mr. President. Just give us the green light. Let us go door to door and kill them. People on the left. Let us go door to door and kill them. Right-wing media, we're at war. They've declared war on us. We are at war. Fox News hosts Steve Bannon, Jesse Waters, Sean Hannity, we are at war. They just want us dead. They just want us dead. Every single fucking thing they have said prior to the assassination of Charlie Kirk was complete fucking bullshit. Every single thing they said was bullshit. It was all lies. They just want us dead. And they are going to use the assassination of Charlie Kirk to justify every single fucking thing they do from here on out. Every horrible, illegal, unconstitutional thing that they do. They are going to justify every bit of it by using Charlie Kirk's assassination. Charlie Kirk, who actually cared about free speech. This administration doesn't give two shits about free speech. I can't tell you the number of Trump supporters I saw tonight that were celebrating the fact that Jimmy Kimmel's show has been taken off the air. They don't give two shits about free speech at all. They don't fucking care. And every single thing they said before last Wednesday was a fucking lie. It was an absolute lie. The aftermath of Charlie Kirk's assassination ripped off whatever was left of the masks that they were wearing. Let alone how it's exposed white Republican evangelical Christianity. Holy shitballs. Charlie Kirk's racism, misogyny, bigotry, homophobia, transphobia was not something that they tolerated from him. They have fully incorporated those things into church doctrine for white Christian, Republican, evangelical Christianity. It's a feature, not a bug. It is now a religion of hate. And they are Christians of hate. They have absolutely no use for the words or teachings of Jesus Christ. That was all bullshit too. That was all bullshit too. Every fucking bit of it was bullshit. Authoritarian, theocratic dictator. That's what they want. And they want all of us dead.
Friends, I just found out that there is some vile, disgusting
human out there who's making graphic t-shirts that celebrate the unaliving of somebody who was recently taken from this plane. And I just want to make mention of something. I can't point the finger at anybody for making those shirts. It could be someone on the right trying to make the left look bad. It could be somebody on the left who's making light of it. But I don't know that. But what I do know is that when you make shirts like that, it points the finger back at us, the people who have been fighting to stop the type of thing that happened to Charlie from ever happening again. So I condemn that type of shit in the strongest possible terms, the same way I condemn alligator Alcatraz shirts that say feed them to the alligators, shirts that have vile statements about immigrants, shirts that depict Joe Biden bound and gagged, anything like that. I condemn it all. Today, your dear leader on Truth Social said that he was going to deem Antifa and the anti-fascist movement as a terrorist organization. In this America, they are cheering on fascism and celebrating it as a way to get back at people on the left who condemn fascism, because fascism is what Hitler did. I'm saying it, friends. I'm saying it. Fascism is what he did. Fascism is what Mussolini did. Fascism is the way dictators rule. So by condemning the movement that is against that sort of type of governing, you are saying we're fascist. That's what you're saying. And I beg of any red hat to look at the real definition of what it means instead of what Fox News told you it is. I'll tell you, it is awfully convenient, though. He's been wanting to do that for so long, and now he's been given the exact motive to do it. I don't know how else to label us, friends. We are whole body in to a fascist dictatorship. That's where we are. And when you do shit like make t-shirts like that, I don't want you on my side. If you can make a t-shirt like that, I don't want you fighting alongside of me, because you're a disgusting human being. Because no matter what, friends, that man has children who will see this shit. No, I didn't like him. I vehemently disagreed with him. But we have to think about the other people. The people left on this earth, and that includes you. And what happens when we take steps like that?